When it comes to Cuerpo Celeste, I'm hoping I said that right. It's one of those films which challenges viewers immensely because it hooks you in the beginning, but then the thing that it hooks you, it immediately loses. It tries to make it so that you stick around to connect with the lead character as they mourn and you mourn what originally made this film of such interest. But to summarize, Celeste is a young woman who grew up in a close extended family. Her parents were part of a large group with boys her age, and everything was pretty ideal until that bubble got popped. Once that happened, the film does a year time jump, and you see how much things have shifted and drifted since the event that changed everything. And unfortunately for Celeste, when she gets back around the people who used to be her close extended family, trying to rekindle those old connections, some of which could have led to her first love, is difficult. And as much as she tries to admire the fossils and bring them back to life, it becomes clear whether we're talking about her relationship with her parents, or we're talking about the boys who could have been her first love. Celeste is looking over fossils and trying to pull a Jurassic Park. So get into the view section. The highlight unquestionably is the first, I want to say at least 20, maybe 30 minutes in which we get this established community that easily is something you can fall in love with. Whether it's watching the core dynamic between Celeste and her parents interacting, which is beautiful to see, or else expanding it out to show the friendships that her parents have, what's burgeoning for Celeste in terms of the friendships and potential relationships she could have with these boys and in the group. Everything is set to be so beautiful, so interesting, so magnificent that it really gets you hooked in such a way that you can't wait to see what happens next. But unfortunately, once the incident, tragedy, however you want to put it, happens, that community gets lost and the movie becomes a shell of itself. And with that, it seems like just as there's a sense of longing, grief, and mourning from Celeste, so is there the same when it comes to you. And while it's one thing for Celeste to kind of reminisce about how good things were, it's very different as a view of a movie, and it makes it so even though this movie is only about an hour and 36 minutes, it can feel so much longer because it had such a high or peak so early on that with it just kind of going steadily downhill from that point, it could be a bit difficult to watch. Hence why we have kind of a mixed divisive opinion on it, because again, because it starts off so well, then it completely removes the hook and it kind of searches for something to kind of fit into that mold that's been left empty. Yes, in many ways, you are put into the mindset of Celeste, who's also looking for that thing. But again, as someone who's a viewer of this, it's one thing for people like me who get to watch screeners or press when it comes to this, and pretty much we're just paying our way to get there. But to have to shell out $17 or more, depending on where you live, or potentially wait or hope this ends up on a streaming platform, which means you come with the package, it's by no means is this a bad movie, but at the same time, it's one of those movies which, are made for film festivals because it has something different. It's something that challenges the norms, but because of the challenges it presents to the viewer, it's hard to be something that you could easily recommend unless you are somebody that really enjoys watching films that don't necessarily want to follow the usual narrative of being something that's entertaining, constantly engaging, but can have a bit of a deadness to it that puts you thankfully into the mindset of the lead, but at the same time can make it so that you divest in the lead because everything that made you interested got removed.